Hello, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 8, Episode 21, Tell All Part 2. We got a lot to discuss because a lot happened in the second part that we were all waiting for. So before we begin, let me just start by saying thank you to a few of my subscribers for reaching out to me this week. It's still been a rough week. I'm still not 100%, still battling a lot of depression and stuff and everything. I talked a little bit about it last week and stuff, but I have multiple of my subscribers reach out to me to check on me, so I do appreciate you guys so much. So thank you guys so much, and continue to do so for me as I'm still battling it, but I just want to say thank you. So we're going to get started now. Now, we picked up where we left off with Lisa and Daniel. So last week, during Lisa and Daniel's segment, Lisa revealed that she had like a curse on her. Because like Daniel's claiming that that little weird cleansing was really a traditional marriage and stuff and everything. And Lisa got a curse on her and she was sick. Well, apparently Lisa had an epiptic or epothic pregnancy or whatever. And Lisa is in her 50s, so she's had a partial hysterectomy, and she could still, I guess, still get pregnant and stuff, but wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't survive. The baby wouldn't survive and stuff. And I guess that's what she had and everything. And it was sad to hear that. It's a little odd. That's the first time I've ever heard that. But I guess it's like, I don't know, but that's pretty wild and everything. Now, Sean, the host, asked, like, Lisa, do you really think that this was a curse? And, Trisha and Stig were just like, no, you know what? This ain't no curse. Like, we're rebuking that. Rebuking that and right now. So this ain't no curse. This is just some crazy made up stuff and everything. And it's wild and stuff. And so, so basically, they're talking about that, and then like Daniel is still now. We've all been saying all season Lisa has been delusional and stuff and everything, but in this tell-all, finally I can admit that Daniel was delusional as heck. Daniel is still claiming that he's in a relationship with this woman, and Lisa made it clear that she's not and everything. And it's and this is what's wild is revealed. Lisa revealed that she actually has another Nigerian man that was her best friend and everything. She said that she'd known this best friend for years, for a little bit. She's known him when she was with Daniel and stuff and everything. And now I guess this guy's apparently the love of her life. And his name is Ty. And they brought Ty out on the screen and everything. They bring Ty out. He was a little bit more humble and everything. And they asked, how do you feel with Lisa traditionally still being married? And Ty was just like, and Daniel told Ty, like, you got to be careful because she's still traditionally married. And Ty was just like, well, are you threatening me, man? like how? And Ty made a valid point. How are you still with Lisa when she was still legally married to the woman and everything? But if you're calling yourself traditionally still married, which he said he don't really believe in, but it's whatever, why can't I be with her and stuff and everything? Good point, Ty. Good point and everything. And so Lisa is claiming that her and Ty are going to get married. She's planning on moving to Nigeria to be with this Ty, and he hasn't even proposed yet. They haven't met in person. And he hasn't even proposed to that. And they're already planning a honeymoon and stuff and everything. And she's like madly in love with this Thai guy. And she says that he knows all about her past, all the secrets that Daniel didn't know. This Thai guy knows, apparently. Now, Lisa's daughter Faith says that she accepts this relationship better than Daniel and gives her like a 75% of it because like she really still wants Lisa to quit being impulsive and just slow down and just really not date for a little bit and focus on herself, which I 100% agree. So yeah, Lisa got a new man. Surprise, surprise. It's just one thing I'm surprised about is that Faith actually accepts this better than Daniel. and everything. So, but I don't know if Lisa is still dating this guy. We'll have to check her social media and stuff to see if she's really still dating him or not. But I mean, she's happy. But yeah, but I can't. It's hard to keep track with Lisa. But Daniel is still under the delusion that you're traditionally married. He kept on saying, "You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters." And she was like, "You're not. I don't serve two masters. You're not my master. We're not together, Daniel." And he keeps saying he is. He is. And I noticed with a lot of people from like African men like that, they like to, when they talk to a lot of American girls and stuff, they, just because they're talking to them, they automatically assume that they're in a relationship with that person just because they're being nice when they're really not, and stuff and everything. And that really annoys me, and I just don't know why Dangle was really acting this delusional and stuff. He say, "Oh, she's my wife, we're still together." No, you're not. When a woman says no, she says no. Now we know Lisa's delusional herself, but dude, like, you ain't all that. You ain't all that yourself, buddy. Just saying. So, so yeah. So finally, we end with Lisa and Daniel, and I'm not talking about it again. Lisa and Daniel. Oh my God, I'm just glad it's done. It's done. So that was Lisa and Daniel. Next couple they went to was Forrest and Sheena. So Forrest and Sheena. This was a unique situation thing because okay, so Forrest actually has a job now. He's a pharmaceutical tech now. Forrest was opened up about his job and everything, saying he makes like $780 a week now and everything, working 40 hours plus and everything. And he started crying because he has to work. He has to work and he's tired when he gets off of work and hasn't been able to talk to Sheena that much or his mom. So he's crying and he's feeling like he wastes his time. Dude, Forrest, I love you, man. I love you. But that's what happens when you have a job, a 40-hour week job. That is normal. And now you made it sound like you never had a job before. I know like he struggled with jobs due to his autism and disability and stuff and everything, but that's how people, that's how on average people do. They work a normal 40-hour week job and everything. They're tired after work. I work a 40-hour week job. I'm tired after work. That's normal. That's normal. But you make time for your woman. You make time for your family and your friends, dude. Why you cried over that? I just thought that was, everybody like teared up over that. I'm not tearing up over that one. That's just part of being an adult. Living the adult life. You work 40 hours a week when you have a full-time job. So why are you crying? I'm sorry that it took time away from you and Sheena, and y'all can't be on the security cams 24/7 and stuff. Just saying. I don't know why he was all up like open and crying about it. Yes, I want to talk to my girlfriend all day long too, but I have stuff to do. I have a job to do and stuff and everything. So but you just got to make the time. So anyway, so they bring out Mother Molly, and everybody was waiting to attack Mother Molly. Like everybody was ready to go. She did come out a little bit more humble this time, a little bit. I mean, she still had her little bully moments and stuff. So we get Sheena. Sheena actually is. I will have to admit this. Sheena actually is a little bit of a liar because they talked about the money situation between the two of them, and like whether like if Sheena is like sending money to her parents or if her parents are asking or whatever. So I guess like Sheena's parents like did ask Sheena for some money, but Sheena didn't give it to him. And then I guess like originally Sheena said they haven't asked for money since and everything. But Forrest said that they had asked and she didn't. And she just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Molly was about to call her out on it and like gets like really nervous, and Sheena gets really nervous. Now people like Annalyn and Laura said that that's bullying, like the way you told Molly that the way you're bullying Sheena, like she gets so nervous when she talks to you, and that's making her like possibly like come up with some lines and stuff. And I agree 100%. But and Sean made a good point. Forrest and Sheena really can't be going back to like holding the truth out just because they're scared to hurt each other. They have to get past that and everything. So Sheena just really looked like a deer in the headlights and this part of the tell-all, and everybody is siding with Molly because like they're just like we don't know what Sheena is like. We don't know the full story. Everybody agreed that Forrest and Sheena are a great couple. They are one of the best couples on the stage, and I know they're still together and stuff and everything. But the thing is that she's not telling the full story, and she's yeah for me it just caused a lot of confusion in my opinion and stuff with them. I'm now they asked her like what's the status of him with the K1 visa. He said he is not applied yet because I guess you can't apply online anymore. You have to do it with physical paper, and he don't have a printer. So Rick said that he will help Forrest with paperwork. Aviva said that she will help. Laura said that she lives right close to Forrest, that she will come up and help. And Annalyn said that she would help Sheena. And so Forrest said that, after this tell-all, like, I will reach out to you guys and we could get started on this and stuff and everything. Yeah, so Mother Molly, she said that she loves Sheena. And they even talked about, like, the boundaries that they have, like when Mother Molly asked them about their intimate life, basically. Their intimate life is like when we first got to the Philippines, that first night, she said that Molly had asked Forrest and Sheena, did you all do the old nookie nookie and all that? And they're like, no. And then they showed the clip when Forrest and Sheena finally were intimate and stuff and everything. And they were just like, like some of the stuff you just don't really want to talk about with your mother and stuff and everything. And like Forrest said that, Sheena obviously thought that was private because in her culture and stuff. But Forrest was just like, like I can tell my mom, like basically that we did it, but not like the details. And Molly said, yeah, I get it. Like if they did it, cool. If they don't, cool, and everything. I don't need to know the full graphic on how it went and how it was and everything, even though she kind of did, basically. But and I agree, like that stuff is private. Some people say, hey, okay, hey, did you guys finally have sex? Okay, yeah, we had sex and stuff and everything. Okay, cool, whatever. Let's move on. We don't need to know the graphic details on how it went or how long it lasted. We don't need to know none of that. So, but yeah, we're just like everybody was actually like came up to Molly afterwards and were like, we were about to attack you, Molly, but now we're really starting to see that Sheena really is a liar, and I'm seeing that too. I love Sheena. I love Sheena, but she really needs to like quit getting so nervous because she gets all tensed up and just tell the truth. Is her family asking for money? Does her family still need the money from her and everything? And they asked about the brother. I guess like she needed to give the brother money or something. It was just really confusing in my opinion. So it was just weird, but nonetheless, Forrest and Sheena are still together. Yeah, I think Sheena is a liar a little bit. I'm sorry, and I love them dearly, but she's a liar. so, so yeah, that was basically that. That was basically Forrest and Sheena. Next couple they went to was Aviva and Stig. Oh man, this was sad. This was sad. So as we all know, a few weeks ago, after Aviva and Stig got engaged, he breaks up with her over text and everything. So Aviva and Stig, they showed the clip of Aviva and Stig getting engaged and stuff, and Aviva just starts crying and everything. Apparently, when Aviva returned from Belize, their relationship got really toxic, like way before. There was just a lot of trust issues and stuff and everything. Um, Aviva was like, I guess like Stick was just like started to get really insecure on some things. Like, there was just a lot of accusations, basically, on a lot of cheating accusations. Stig was saying that Aviva was like at a party and tried to call her at a pool party or whatever, and I guess there was like a lot of guys that she was surrounded with or whatever and everything. And he got like really defensive and mad about it and stuff. Aviva saying Stig has been like hooked up with some girl that he did a music video with or whatever, and everything. And it was just it was just a lot like thrown at him and stuff and everything. So yeah, and then I guess like Stig was just started to call her names and stuff, like calling her the B word and stuff and everything. And then like she was saying like the one time, and then I guess like she even went out with one of her female friends, and he was still getting defensive, upset about it and stuff and everything. And Aviva was like, why is it when I go out it's such a big deal, but you're free to do whatever you want, and when I'm out you're at a bar yourself and stuff like that. It was just they were just like throwing like jabs at each other and stuff and everything. And there was no proof. At least Joshua, made a valid point. He was just like, I'm hearing all these accusations, but I don't see the proof. And so, and that was a good point. And speaking of proof, they bring out Aunt Spring and that Corinne girl. Now, remember throughout the season when Aunt Spring and Corinne, when they were wondering about the girl that he had his arm with or whatever, and they made that phone call that wasn't on speaker and stuff and everything. So they brought out Aunt Spring, and they're saying that once again, just the similar stuff that she hears all the stuff about Stig, and he hooked up with so and so and all that. And as for the Corinne girl, they should have never before seen an interview with her saying that, Stig, I think Stig actually has gotten multiple girls pregnant, basically. Now, I don't believe that. Now, I know Stig is a pig, and and everything, and kind of ignorant for what he did with Aviva and stuff. But if he was really getting all them girls pregnant, we would have known by now. And Aviva said that herself. She's like, if like I do believe he was messing around and stuff, but I don't believe he gotten girls pregnant and stuff. So once again, Aunt Spring and Corinne are coming here, but they don't have no proof and stuff. So it was just nothing but accusations and stuff and everything. Now, Stig claims that Aviva, like there was when Aviva was in Belize, she got a text from one of her guys or whatever, saying that no, that you could do so much better than him. Like no one will love you. This guy would never love you the right way or whatever. And she entertained that for a little bit, and she admitted that she was wrong not to entertain that while she was in Belize. She admitted that was disrespectful and stuff and everything. But it just he's saying that she cheated, she's saying that he cheated. It was just, but we have no proof. Nobody had any screenshots, and Sprint and Corinne did not have any screenshots or nothing. And so we really got nowhere. Aviva is just heartbroken because, like, Stig did say a lot of mean things about her and everything. And then let's not forget now, recently, he put out a diss track on Aviva, which really pissed me off. So I feel like he is a pig and stuff and everything. And yeah, it just got nowhere. But it was just sad. I really, really felt bad for Aviva in this moment. It was really sad to see Aviva and Stig, the way how they ended and stuff and everything. So yeah, that was basically it for them. I'm sorry that they didn't work out, but maybe it was for the best. So yeah, that was Aviva and Stig. Next couple they went to was Elise and Joshua. Elise and Joshua. So it was revealed that they are still together last week. They are still together. They got tattoos on each other's name. Elise has Joshua's name, like I think on her back, on top of her back, and he got it like on like the palm of his hand or something like that, and everything. I guess like Joshua has a new job, or he gets salary now and everything. He's not working on that yacht or whatever, that controversial job he had or whatever. And he even paid for Elise to come back to Australia. So they brought out Chris, his roommate, to say the least, and everything. And they talked about, like, everything, and they talked about, the boundaries that should have been set and how creepy it was. At least admitted that, like, I don't think it's normal for guy to guy to have that close roommates at that age, close by like that and stuff and everything. And I think it was weird. And it's also weird to have your roommate's picture like on your room, and your roommate coming in when we're trying to make love. Gee, you think? You think? Just saying, you think? So, so they talked about that and everything, and then he, I guess Joshua also has a new apartment. I guess he moved out with Nat, and then they bring Nat out and everything, and they talked about that dynamic. Nat says that she has plenty of friends, guy friends or whatever, and Joshua was there for her a lot and everything. Laura kind of challenged her on that. She's like, well, if you have all these friends, like, why do you need to go to Joshua? And good point. And then they rolled the infamous clip of when Elise, Josh, and Nat were at the bar, and Elise just went crazy and yelling in the bar, asking everybody, "Hey guys, is it normal for my man to be living with another girl and stuff and everything?" And Nat had called Elise psycho for that. And after rewatching the clip, it was just like, Sean asked, "Do you still think that Elise is psycho?" And she's like, I could laugh about it now, but in that moment, yeah, that still stands and everything. And they asked, like, Josh, what do you really think of that? And he kind of got quiet, and he's like, basically, it was psychotic, and it was. Now, I agree with the question she was asking and everything, but the way she did it was psychotic and stuff, and she was acting like that entitled American in a foreign country, basically. So, so Elise was just mad that he didn't defend her on that. So then now back home, I guess Joshua also came to Miami and hung out with Elise for a little bit as well. And there's still some like money stuff going on. I guess Elise also has like a trust fund, like a really big investment, because she said that she cannot have her daddy bailing her out on everything because she's been burned so much in her life. Remember what her ex did, like taking out like a $25,000 credit card and stuff and everything that her daddy had to clean up and stuff. So she has a trust fund. Now, if she moves to Australia, because she was they were contemplating moving to Australia, they asked her, well, if you moved to Australia, would you lose your trust fund? And she said, I hope not. And then I think it was Lisa who asked her, yeah, I think it was Lisa who asked her, is the trust fund or Joshua? And Elise did not answer the question. And she's like, she just said, I love you, baby, and stuff. So they wrapped up her segment and they go backstage. And I guess Josh sent her a message saying, I'm glad you chose your trust fund over me and everything. And she's just like, well, you didn't defend me over in that situation and whatnot. And they just started arguing over that and stuff and everything. So, like, again, Elise and Joshua's relationship, again, another confusing relationship. I mean, they claim that they're still together. I don't know if they're still together in modern time right now, but at the time of the filming of the tell-all, they were still together. We'll see if we find any updates that she went back to Australia. We'll see. So yeah, that was Elise and Joshua. And the last couple we have to talk is Rick and Trisha. So, Rick and Trisha, as we know, they're broken up, and as we know, Trisha's pregnant. Rick is not the father. So Trisha is pregnant. Okay, so here's okay. We'll start with that. After Rick and Trisha broke up, Trish actually met a guy from Australia on vacation, hooked up with him, and got pregnant. She is not together with him. Even they said they're still in contact because they're gonna have the baby, but they're not a dating couple. Now they asked Rick, how long did you wait to start like dating again after you and Trish broke up? Rick said the freaking next day. He got on the app and met another girl. I guess she was also still from Madagascar. Hung out with her and they were intimate, of course. Man. Man. so so but he gets after that, like, I guess also he also took a trip to Hong Kong um with the same girl, whatever. He didn't go back to Madagascar, but he they went to Hong Kong for another vacation. And I guess that vacation was supposed to originally be for him and Trish, but for like his for her birthday and stuff and everything. But since they're broken up, he went with the new girl and stuff and everything. But he also said, "Well, Trish, you were in Indonesia at that time." So and we're just like, okay, well, that kind of balances that out. So, like, and they asked him, like, do you guys think that Rick moves way too fast and way too quick? And he even himself raised both of it. Everybody raised their hands, like, yep, both hands. He moves way too fast and stuff and everything. And he does. He does go way too fast and stuff and everything. Then they talked about the infamous scene that kind of that disgusted me a little bit, was that splash pad scene when he first arrived at Madagascar with Trish, because he had mentioned that Trish said that Trish is basically excited in the bedroom and stuff and everything, and they did the splash pad and stuff, and he brought in that splash pad. Well, as disgusting as that was, what's more disgusting about it is that Rick revealed that that splash pad was a used splash pad, and was also used by the Colombian ex that he refused to block. And his excuse of it was, well, we changed sheets and stuff. And like, no, no, no. So, oh man, disgusting. Really disgusting with that. So they talked about that. And then they talked about how, like, does he still have feelings? Do Trish and Rick still have feelings for each other? Both of them did reveal that they still have feelings for each other. But Trisha said that she doesn't know if she really wants him back in her life, and I don't really blame her and stuff and everything. She's about to have a baby, and like he wants to be part of her life again, but like it's not fair for that to happen, especially if she's about to give birth and stuff and everything. So she said that he would have to change like really drastically, and he just doesn't know, like, if like he just wants to move on basically and everything. So he didn't get as much heat as I thought he was going to be. It was, everybody was disgusted about the splash pad thing, but he didn't really get much heat. One person that really defended him, because Sean had asked the cast, like, will anybody here take Rick back? Ever take Rick back? And everybody said no, except for Emma. Emma said that she would take him back. She's like, he would own, if he owned up to his mistakes and promised he would never do it again, I would take him back. But everybody else was just like, nope, not doing it, not doing it and stuff. And then of course they talked about booking that trip to Colombia after not hearing from Trish for 5 days. It was just very disturbing. His segment was kind of really disturbing and stuff and everything. And he's gotten a lot of hate throughout the season, a lot of flack about it and stuff. So rightfully so on some of these things. But wow, yeah, it was just, his scene was just disgusting and disturbing in my opinion. And I'll come back to that a little bit later. So that was Rick and Trish. So we wrap up the tell-all. But there's still one order of business that we have to take care of that everybody's kind of been wondering. The cast wraps up the stage tell-all. We go backstage to pack up to leave. But Emma wants to go talk to Elise about something. So last week, Elise said that Emma told her that, and they wanted to keep this at first private, that Emma had hooked up with Rob and stuff and everything. And Elise was just like, well, why are you telling me this? Rob's out of my life. I got a boyfriend and stuff and everything. So Emma goes into Lisa's little dressing room and it's like, I need to talk to you. So I value a friendship with you and everything. But I hear that, I was hooking up with Rob. And I hear you tried to hook up with him not too long after I told you. And Elise was just like, what? Elise said that her and Rob like were at a party, like and I found out it was that Christmas party where all the 90 Dayers were at and everything, and they were talking and stuff and reconnected a little bit and everything. And she said that happened, but they didn't try to hook up. And Emma was like, "Well, I heard you tried to like Uber him and go back to your room and, and cuddle with him or whatever." And Elise is denying it all and stuff and everything. Now, Rob, I seen an interview. Rob did an interview and talked about that. I guess like it was kind of the same situation on their similar to what happened to their first night on Hunt for Love, is that they were at the party, they reconnected, they had a long talk on the phone and stuff and everything, a long talk on the phone, just like they did on Hunt for Love and everything. And like I guess there was a little bit of flirtation, a little bit, but it didn't escalate that far and everything. And so back to Elise and Emma, like Elise is like he's lying and everything, and then Emma just starts crying. He's like, I don't know who I can trust and everything. I trusted a friend with you, and then Elise just starts snapping at Emma. She's like, that man is not your boyfriend. He can do whatever you want. Oh, you're out there screwing around, yada yada yada. And Elise just started screaming at Emma. Emma's just crying. You're not gonna play the victim, yada yada yada, and everything. Everybody else was like, what's going on? Like, did Joshua try to hook up with Emma or something, or Zia or something? Like, no, it's about Rob and stuff and everything. And then Aviva comes in, Forrest comes in to say his goodbyes and stuff and everything. And everybody's just, Laura had to come in and just like, guys, stop. We're all supposed to be here together and everything. Like we can't be doing this and stuff and everything. So the rest of the cast basically say their goodbyes and stuff and everything. Emma and Elise go to the bathroom to finish the conversation, and they hugged it out, and then now they're all buddy buddy again and everything. But like, why is everybody fighting over Rob? I just don't get it. Man, Rob really be getting around and stuff and everything. So yeah. And so that was basically it. Everybody says their goodbyes. Forrest is out. He wants to go start the process to get his Sheen to America. Aviva says she's not going to be dating anymore. Laura said that she was surprised at the confrontation with Michael, even though I guess like her and Michael hung out after that tell-all, basically. And Lisa's about to go to Nigeria to be with Ty and stuff and everything. I'm just like, wow. And that's basically it. That was season 8 of Before the 90 Days. It's done. It's done. Now, before I sign off, I have to admit some things. So this has been 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days Season 8 has been the most successful season for the Nathan Timothy page. It started at the beginning of the season when Anna Lynn found my channel and commented on here. As you guys know, I told you guys I became good friends with her and Javon and stuff. They filled me in with a lot of stuff that I kept quiet throughout the season. I knew about Lisa's new Nigerian man a while from now and everything, but yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the people who I talked to. And I have one other thing to admit. I even know Rick now. Me and Rick talk every single day. Now, I don't want y'all coming at me in the comments saying, why are you talking to Icky Ricky and all that? Don't be doing that. I talked to him, both Javon, Anna Lynn, and Rick told me a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with the production and how editing is making them, the filming time of the day, which we basically all knew. So it does give me a different perspective and makes me see things in a different light for a lot of these couples and what I'll know for future seasons of covering 90 Day Fiancé and stuff. But, I will say this about Rick, though, because I do talk to him a lot now. He is a really good father. Now, I don't agree with how, despite the editing, I still don't agree with how he did Trish and how his scenes and stuff were. But he is a really good father. So people got to quit it. You're fine to attack him with how he did Trish, but don't attack his father skills, because I even got to meet his son too, and he is a really good father and stuff and everything. So, But yeah, but this has been the most successful season. Thank you so much, Javon and Annalyn. I hope we guys can still communicate with me and be friends, work together. Same with you, Rick. Even Laura and Aviva. They answered one of my questions I had on their Q&As earlier in the season, and Aviva's response to me was really sweet and stuff. So I feel like I have a special bond with this season's cast. So, and I hope that this continues for future seasons as we head into next week, 90 Day Fiancé season 12 with all new couples and stuff. So it's a bittersweet feeling that the season's over, but again, thank you, Javon, Annalyn, Rick, and Aviva, Laura, for you guys, this has been again the most successful season for the Nathan Temp 2 page. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Please keep in touch. Like, we gotta do things together now since y'all season's over and stuff and everything. So yeah. So that was basically it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please pray for me as I'm still battling, recovering from this depressive state that I've been. I just still wanted to get this recap out to you guys and everything. I'll be back on tomorrow or Tuesday to recap the single life. We only got a couple episodes left before that tell-all as well, so be ready for that. And then next week we head into 90 Day Fiancé. So be ready for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see y'all again soon. Love you guys. Bye.